Gentlemen, ladies, and ladies, I know you like watching me suffer, and I know that because my most viewed video is one where I do a run that took me over 20 attempts. It's one where I beat the game without any weapons, and I wanted to one-up myself. So, hopefully this will receive a good sum of views, because in this video, I'm going to beat this game without killing anything. We're going to be completely pacifist, and we're not gonna hurt a single soul. We're not gonna do a single drop of damage in this game. But before I explain exactly how I do that, let's give a shout out to our newest subscribers, starting with Bushido Kill. Let me get that full screen for you guys. Bushido Kill and Gumon, thank you so much for subscribing. I give a shout out to my newest subscribers at the beginning of every single video. So if you're interested in that, sit back, relax, enjoy, and subscribe by the end of the video with your subscription status set to public now. The problem already starts in character select because we can't actually pick any character that starts with a weapon that would do damage. So our only real options would be Devano, Gallo, and I guess Trouser if we just don't pick a weapon. But for the purposes of this, I went with Devano because I think he fits best. And we're going to do this on Mad Forest. Now, we are going to play on Hyper Mode, Hurry Mode, and with Arcanas. I don't think this is possible without Arcanas. Hurry mode, I've gone back and forth on. I think it's possible on both, but I found most success, and by most success, I mean my only successful attempt has been on hurry mode and hyper mode, just because Devano is very slow, and I don't want to deal with that. So, we're going to kick this off. There's a lot of preparation I've done for this. I can't guarantee that this run will work. We want the Awake Arcana just for some leniency and the extra max health armor. And, that's it really. The max health and armor does help. So first things first, we're going to reroll a whole bunch and hopefully get something very important. It is pretty much key to this, otherwise I don't know if I can do this, and I will just restart this. So if we could, thank you, armor, beautiful. On the last reroll we got it. So that's our only level up we're gonna get, and that is the beauty of these characters that don't start with damage dealing weapons, is the game intends for you to use that free level up to get a weapon that does deal damage so you can kill stuff. But we're not going to do that. We're going to take advantage of that and get something that protects us rather than does damage, and we're going to beeline down to Pomerola. So I've memorized pretty much every wave in the game so I can know what comes next and kind of prepare for it mentally. I just realized my microphone is in front of my face, which may hinder my play, and this is a very tight run. It's very difficult. I have recorded my one successful attempt, so if this attempt doesn't work, I'll put that footage at the end and kind of commentate over it. But let's hope this works. I've done some practice runs today to warm up, so we'll see how this goes. We want Pomerola, and then I'm going to beeline over to the up and left to get Metaglio left, so we can have 2 regen items here. Very, very important. That's okay. I think a little bit of damage, not fine. And I'll explain the techniques I use as we go. There's a couple nuances in this run, but for the time being, I'll just explain my strategy, since dodging these beginning waves is very, very easy. You do have these swarms of bats that come around, and they will appear later in the run, and they're going to be much more scary later on. But for now, they're just pushing around other bats. The bats pushing bats, not really the worst thing in the world. We should be completely fine here. I think the first real issue pops up right around the 6 to 7 minute mark, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Like I said, we're heading for the Metaglio left, avoiding all contact if we can. Those are the only 2 items that we want, really. Nothing else really matters to us right now. I considered grabbing Silver Ring, but I realized that spawning the second Guardian probably isn't in my best interest here. Spawning 1 Guardian from the Metaglio left is already pretty difficult to deal with, because it really chunks out your health if he does hit you. So I went back and forth on whether I want Metaglio left or not, but my successful attempt did have Metaglio left, so that's what I'm going with this time around. Again, not sure if it's gonna work. If it doesn't, you'll see my successful attempt at the end. Oh god. The next thing we want to do after we grab this is find a big open area to just kind of ball up enemies. That's something I'll tell you about in a bit. This doesn't really matter. We can just go through this ring, doesn't really phase us that much. That's something you'll see me do very, very often, both with and without the Laurel Charge. If I have the Laurel Charge, it obviously doesn't matter what I hit, but if I don't, I'm gonna want to hit enemies that don't do that much damage, right? Because this game does have it doesn't look like it sometimes, but this game does gives you some iframes when you get hit by something. So if you get hit by something that doesn't do much damage, you can kind of push past something that would really chunk out your health, which is obviously ideal. And taking less damage is better than taking more damage. A little fun little fact for you. Alright, so now it's almost at the 7-minute mark. We're going to want to kind of find somewhere pretty open. This looks like a nice spot. And then we're going to start falling up these enemies in kind of a circle here. So this game has what I call a soft enemy cap. I'm not sure if that's what it's actually called. That's what I call it. It basically means at some point it will stop spawning enemies if you have enough on screen. However, there are some things that can kind of push past that limit, which is why I call it a soft cap. So at every minute increment on the clock, a new wave of enemies is loaded in, right? And to make sure that you get to see at least some of those new enemies, it will spawn those enemies in overriding the cap, just so you can start getting new enemies on screen and filter out the old ones even if you're not killing them. Also, what I should explain is if you keep enemies on screen, they will not respawn. So I shouldn't show you, but if say I were to get one of the enemies from this group off screen, they would then respawn somewhere else on the map close to me and then start heading to me from that direction. So if I don't let that happen, I can very much clearly predict where all the enemies are going to be, because they're all going to be in the circle right here. Obviously, it doesn't happen very well all the time, especially with these swarms that are pushing through and making me take these wide paths and dispersing the enemies, which I don't really like. Which is why I said these swarms will be problematic. But see here, as soon as I gather them, well, there's the bats again. As soon as I gather them all up, they're going to be in this one spot, and they're not going to go up too far off screen. And if they're not too far off screen, they will never respawn, which means I can very easily manipulate where they go, because they're all going to follow me. They're not going to do some weird shit and start. And this is a very bad spot. We don't like this little edge maze thing over there, so we're just going to walk past this and find a new open area somewhere else. This looks alright. Not bad. But see, now that everything's off screen, they're going to start coming at me from every direction, because I let them despawn by going too far away from them. Oh, excuse me. So that's why balling is a technique that makes this run significantly easier. It doesn't always work. I have to push past here. So hurry mode has its benefits and its drawbacks. One of the benefits is that waves like this, where it's just really difficult to get past everything, don't last as long. But the drawback is that easy waves don't last as long either. So you'll see that my health is regenerating very slowly, and with some of the easier waves, if you're not playing on hurry mode, you can use those easy waves to regen your health back to full. I'm playing pretty well here, actually. I'm not getting hit, which is pretty nice. Expect me to die a couple times. That's why I took the Awake Arcana. We actually get stronger every time we die with that Arcana. Because it gives us... I need to double check. Yeah, I do have it. I didn't mess that up. Because it gives us extra armor, which is great. So this is just, standard avoiding gameplay. If you've ever played Call of Duty Zombies, think about it like that. You just want to weave around them, kind of manipulate your movement so that they come after you and leave gaps. You want to keep moving, because the longer you wait, closer they're gonna get to you, and the closer they get to you, the smaller the gaps between the enemies are. Again, you see a swarm here, this time of ghosts. They're not really friendly. You saw there, they push the Guardian towards me, which is not great. Not good at all. So, yeah, you have these different techniques for every wave. We don't want to ball up here. Balling these up, they're too fast, first of all, and with the swarms of ghosts pushing them around, we're just gonna get destroyed. So, one other thing I should mention is, you see, there's a bunch of elites on screen. These glowing bats, the larger enemies on the map, they kind of accumulate over the course of the run, because we can't kill them. Obviously, that's the whole point of the run. And because we can't kill them, and the game never despawns elites, otherwise you would miss the opportunity to get a chest or a red gem, they just stick around, and they're going to be persistent sources of massive damage, even with a good chunk of armor under our belt. They're going to do a lot of damage if we run into them, and they're going to be kind of hard to avoid. That's where that technique that I mentioned earlier comes in, where we kind of want to bump into lesser damaging enemies to give us the iframes to walk past a really bulky, tanky, hard-hitting enemy. So I don't know if I'm gonna show that. I probably will, but not intentionally because I don't want to waste my chance here. I don't know why I went back up there. Again, this particular set of waves is all about bobbing and weaving. Upcoming, we have a wave of flowers soon, and that's a good resting point for us, because once we get there, they're really easy to weave through. Ooh, this is bad. We have laurel, thankfully. Okay, I'll let you know when those flowers pop up, because that's one of the ways that I would like to last longer, which is the benefit of not playing on hurry mode. We got the mummy spawning in at the 17-minute mark, and after this we'll get the flowers. The mummies are also a very great way for us, because the game treats them as like very strong enemies and therefore spawns less of them. But this is a cakewalk. You only have a few enemies at a time. In a regular run, they would be harder to kill and have a bunch of HP and do a bunch of damage, but because we don't care about killing them, we can just avoid them really easily. So this is the point in the run where it's honestly, if you die to one of these, it's completely your fault. This is not even that big of a challenge. And you'll see there's other enemies. They're all the elites that I mentioned. And now at the 18-minute mark, we have another wave of enemies spawning in. These, I think they're also mummies. They're like stone golem mummies or something. They're the grayish, light gray enemies, who look like they're doing Michael Jackson's Thriller at every moment. Again, not the worst. A bit tougher than just the big brown mummies, but not the biggest problem. I haven't taken much damage yet, which is surprising. I thought my performance would be very poor while talking and playing at the same time, but luckily for me, I guess practice does make perfect. I guess it paid off. Ready. Let's see. I kind of want to be heading downwards rather than upwards. Just a preference. How I like playing. Not really that big of a deal. You might hear me switch to keyboard at some point also. This is a problem. These swarms are very annoying, and I wasn't in the best spot there. That's hurtful. That's not great, but okay. Usually in swarms you have a bit of a lull, and then yeah, there's the second round of waves that are coming in now. Ooh, not good. Okay. All in all, not too bad. I don't believe we died yet. Our health seems to be very good for us here. I could potentially grab Hollow Heart, but here we are. This is a very good way for us. You'll see it's just the elites that we have spawned plus these flowers, which are like, they don't do much damage and they don't move that fast, so I can get past them very easily. So this is ideal territory for us, right? Trust me, it's not going to be this ideal for much longer. This is kind of the last wave we really have where we can take it easy. And then the last couple of minutes of this run are all very high intensity. Again, I might switch to keyboard because my keyboard is just a little bit more accurate than my controller, but we'll see if I feel that I'm doing okay. This is bad. Not great. I feel like characters also have different hitboxes, but it might just be like a trick of the mind, because I tried this run with Gallo as well, but not just for the fact that he doesn't get Laurel, which is huge. Laurel is one of the best items in the game for this, and just one of the best items in the game in general, and Gallo does not get it. However, he does get the opportunity to kind of create paths for himself, because when you freeze enemies, you can actually touch them and walk through them without really taking damage at all. So that is the benefit of playing Gallo here. But you'll see that I take these really tight angles between enemies and don't get hit for it. That just comes with practice. I know Ivano's hitbox very well because I've done this for a while. Okay, so here's the part where we're taking a lot of damage probably, and that's okay. I would have expected honestly to use my first revive already, but the fact that we haven't just makes me really happy. We got these purple flowers now. They're really good. Soon enough we'll have a wave with just them, which is going to be a pretty tame wave again. But for the moment, I usually lose my first revive before that, so if we can keep all 4 of them, I believe, until then, that would be great. Not doing a good job of that. I want to avoid that Guardian at all costs because he does tons of damage and we don't want to get hit by that. So far so good. Okay, so here's the purple flower wave. Yeah, we made it here, which is pretty good. It's another one where you don't want to stop moving, which is kind of the theme for this run. Alright, this is not a big deal. Ideally, I'd want to have my Laurel to tank that, but that's okay, because those ring flowers don't really deal that much damage. I want to start balling them up. Let me see if I can get Laurel. I cannot. It's okay. Again, they don't do much damage. I've tried to ball this wave up a bit, but it's just too difficult. But they're very slow, so it's not that big of a deal. This is a fair situation. There, I weaved through that very well. I'm proud of myself for that one. Okay, not for that one. That was bad. Alright. Not great. Sometimes you can get gaps in those flower rings. It's really rare. I've only had it happen once or twice. That's not the path I want to go to. That's not great either. The geometry of this level is very dispersed, and so you don't run into it much, but when you do, okay, this is probably where I lose my first, yep. That's the first revive. We only have 3 minutes left though, so this is going very well, but what usually happens is that if you lose one life, you kind of chain lose all your other lives. So I need to still be very, very careful. Yeah, the latter half of this is very bad. There's a point where only elites will spawn, and it's going to be a swarm of glowing blue bats, and those do a lot of damage. Okay, second revive, like I said, could be very bad still. We could lose all of these in a row. Of course, we get more armor every time, which is pretty good. I think I have 2 revives left, which is pretty okay. 2 minutes left, which is 1 minute real time. This is the point where in my head I'm kind of counting down, hoping I can get this right. I think I got it though. I think I got it. I hope so. Yeah, this is the point with only the glowing green bats. They're small, so their hitboxes are kind of easy to avoid, but they're fast. And you'll see a lot of instances of me hitting these bigger bats so that I don't take damage from the elites, because they do more damage. So relish that. This is probably my best run ever if I stay alive, which I think I will. This is the okay. Hold on. Don't speak too soon. Do not speak too soon. We're okay. This is my best run yet. How many revives do I have? I have 2 revives left. I've never had a run with 2 revives left. Okay, that's great. Wow, I did not expect to get that first time I tried to record this, but wow, okay, that was great. 0 kills. I'll show you here. DPS non-existent. Enemies defeated 0. And that's that. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like and subscribe. I want to reach 1K subs by the end of February. Might be tight, might not make it, who knows. But if you want to support me and help me reach that goal, then that'd be greatly appreciated. But most importantly, have yourselves a good day and take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys next time.